Sunrise. Coming up this morning, banking consultant warns to 2027-2028 remains a critical test for Ghana despite recent Fitch upgrade.
2027, Ghana had to take a debt of 57 billion, payment of DDEP, principal payment. In addition to the Eurobond 2.7 billion, have we put in structures to be able to pay?
Meanwhile, financial economist urges caution on global market return following Fitch upgrade.
About 600 million Ghana cedis of possible fuel revenue and also tax revenue getting missing. Then it means that possibly we may have to revisit the conversation of having a third eye.
Plus, Ashanti business owners urges government to prioritize public-private partnerships over new debts.
You don't need to go and borrow. There are other Ghanaian investors who are looking for such opportunity. Hold them on, let them invest their capital in such infrastructure. So they build, operate, and transfer.
I am Christabel. Success Trevor will bring you details of our headlines and other stories shortly. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Now, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene has commended government's effort to stabilize the economy, but says 2027 will be a critical test of the progress made so far. His comments follow Fitch Ratings' decision to upgrade Ghana's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating from B- to B with a positive outlook. According to him, Ghana still faces significant debt servicing obligations from 2027, which could increase the country's vulnerability, particularly given its relatively low tax to GDP ratio.
We've done very well to go against the storm, and actually we haven't finished. We are almost in the middle of the storm. So I would say that we have basically done very good, but we haven't there yet. The journey will start from 2027. On 2027, Ghana had to take a debt of 57 billion, payment of DDEP, principal payment. In addition to the Eurobond 2.7 billion, have we put in structures to be able to pay? Or we just clamoring of figures? That is where the journey actually begins. And if you're not able to pay, then you go for restructuring. If you're not able to do, maybe you do a refinancing. So for me, I think this is beginning of the real journey. And we need to begin to look at how are we going to survive 2027 and 2028. Forget about a Fitch analysis. It's excellent. There's nothing wrong about it. But the real journey, as I've told you, is 2027, 2028.
That was banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene. Meanwhile, financial economist Dr. Richmond Boakye-Yiadom believes the government must proceed cautiously in any attempt to return to the international capital market, despite the upgrade of Fitch Ratings. Speaking on business focus, he stressed that priority should instead be placed on addressing major domestic revenue leakages to strengthen the country's fiscal position.
Some few years ago, when we had conversations on revenue assurance and the fact that there are some bodies that are doing things to improve, to watch over, especially in our ports, in terms of revenue collections, to be able to minimize leakages. And there were a whole lot of challenges, that came up at the time. But what we know from those time, from 2020 to somewhere 2024, 2025, was that generally these leakages were less reported, or it was not generally in the media. But now if you are beginning to see 200 million letters resulting to about 600 million Ghana cedis of possible fuel revenue and also tax revenue getting missing, then it means that possibly we may have to revisit the conversation of having a third eye, looking at what NPA platforms, the ERDMs, and the ICOM system that are doing, because these systems are still there, and we are still reporting revenue leakages in our ports and all those areas.
The Executive Secretary of the Ashanti Business Owners Association, Charles Kusi Apiakubi, is calling on government to pivot toward public-private partnerships as the primary vehicle for infrastructure development. Speaking on business focus on the country's fiscal trajectory following recent credit rating upgrades, Apiakubi warned that a hurried return to the international capital market could jeopardize the fragile gains that have been made.
We shouldn't go for consumption, but we should be going to invest in sectors that can repay some of such investments so that we don't have to worry the taxpayer. Two, I have always preferred this option of ensuring that we are able to meet our infrastructure development. That is through private-public partnership. And you do the option of BOT. There are a lot of businesses, there are a lot of individuals who have a lot of funds sitting idle. They're looking at where to invest. So if government wants to do express road from Accra to Kumasi, you don't need to go and borrow. There are other Ghanaian investors who are looking for such opportunity. Call them on, let them invest their capital in such infrastructure. So they do build, operate, and transfer. In that way, you don't overburden the country. In that way, you are not also lagging in terms of your debt GDP. That, I think, is the only way we could be looking at as a country.
The Ghana Stock Exchange, GSE, faced a cooling period during the week of May 4 to 8, 2026, as both major indices retreated following weeks of aggressive gains. The GSE Composite Index fell 3.72%, while the Financial Stocks Index dropped 5.96%, dragging total market capitalization down to 268.91 billion cedis. Although trading volumes edged up slightly to 11.76 million shares, total value traded slumped by 23.50%, signaling a shift toward lower-priced transactions. Market analysts anticipate a cautious start to the new week as investors reassess positions in large cap and financial counters through bargain hunting in recently declined stocks could provide some support. We'll now take a look at how the cedi is faring against major trading currencies and how some of key commodities are also faring on the global markets.
FM 92.7.
On the interbank foreign exchange markets, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis 29 pence worth. It's gained 1 pence. The British pound is selling at 15 cedis 41 pence worth. It's gained 4 pence worth. The euro is selling at 13 cedis 30 pence worth. It also gained 2 pence worth. However, be guided that these figures could be higher at the Forex Bureau now. On the global commodities market, Brent crude is trading at $104.29 per barrel. Gold is trading at $4,734.51 per ounce, up by $19.26. Cocoa is trading at $4,709 per ton, up by $527.
That was an update from the Forex and Commodities market, and that'll be all for the business news on Sunrise. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. My name is Christabel Success Trevor. Sunrise continues with the rest of the team. Stay tuned.